Hi there, I want to talk about glutes. So your gluteus, medius, minimus and maximus, they are a huge muscle group, all three together, and they're actually one of the strongest in your body. Or at least they should be in a well-balanced body. So in Pilates, if you've been doing Pilates regularly with me, then you will know that there's a lot of focus on the side glutes, your medius and minimus, which actually in general is quite an under-recognized muscle group, I would say. There's not a lot of classes that I know of where these medius and minimus gluteus muscles are actually targeted, and we target them all the time, which is great. So you definitely will find that those muscles get very strong. So today I wanted to give some extra exercises for your gluteus maximus, which is the biggest muscle of all. And actually in daily life, this is a muscle group that you tend to use regularly, while the gluteus minimus and medius are more stabilizing muscles and they abduct the leg. And abduction means your legs sort of turning out. So sometimes people find that because they don't use that in daily life, or whatever activities they do, they become quite weak or tight. Gluteus maximus in most people's bodies will have some strength in it. However, your gluteus maximus also hangs very tightly together with your hip flexors. So sometimes weak hip flexors or overused hip flexors rather can be a sign of weak glutes. And if your hip flexors are tight, it can also actually affect how you can access your glutes. So there is definitely a link between hip flexor issues and glute issues. And actually, if both are balanced, they kind of they strengthen each other, which is really, really lovely, because you can imagine if the hip flexor is tight, it kind of reduces the movement you get in your gluteus extension. Then you can imagine that if that hip flexor is actually enabling the movement, it actually facilitating your gluteus strength. So there is this lovely domino effect in the body that I always think is fascinating, but can be very frustrating, because if one thing goes wrong, it has this kind of ripple effect through the body. And hip flexor and glutes are a good example of that. So the ones that I like to do are the ones actually on all four. So you can do them on the front as well. So I'll give you two options, because it depends on whether you have got mobility in your hip flexors. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. You're going to hold your core tight, one knee into the body. You flex the foot, make a footprint on the ceiling, everything stays stable. With this, you're actually isolating your gluteus maximus. It's a lovely exercise. So just single extensions. If this feels too easy, all you need to do is add an ankle weight onto your ankle and make it harder, right? It's you versus gravity. Stay at the top and pulse. So you can pulse at the top. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2, 1, 8 singles, 8, 7, 6. Do you feel it working already? So it does actually work quite quickly. But with muscles like this, you want to slightly overwork them. So there's nothing wrong that once you feel the burn, to go into it a little bit more. Last one, we're going to stay at the top. 8 singles. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it down. Quick stretch. That's it, into our child pose. And from here, come back up. Let's do the other side. So you try to keep your weight in the middle. So don't drop all your weight into your supporting knees. Keep it a little bit more forward. Hold your core, breathe in. As you breathe out, other leg. Single. Footprint on the ceiling. Keep your spine stable. Right? So I'm not extending the spine. I'm not doing anything weird with my hips. Right? Everything stable, just the leg. Last 4. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Stay at the top. We're going to bounce. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Single. Here we go. 8, 7. That's it. We want equal burn, don't we? Left and right. 6, last 5. Last 4, last 3, last 2, Last one, stay at the top, bounce. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2, last one, and come and sit down into child pose. Rotate your wrists if they're feeling a bit tight. So doing a leg extension like that is a really good way of isolating the muscle without actually putting additional weight on your spine. Because traditionally, if you come from a gym background, glute exercises would be doing squats. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing squats, but I've always, even before I was a Pilates instructor, I used to always think, because you place your weights on your, on a bar on your back, right? And if you're prone to back issues or you're quite tall like I am, it feels that to get the resistance on the glutes, you have to put a lot of pressure on your spine, and it doesn't feel like the most effective way of getting to the glutes, right? So for some people that will be fine, but this is definitely, I feel, a safer way of accessing and a more effective way of accessing your glutes. Now, if you don't have a problem with your hip flexors, you can actually come onto the floor. You're going to take your knees apart. Your hands can be on top of each other. Your forehead finds your hands, which is quite comfortable. Drop the shoulders back into their position. You're going to bend the knee. Ankles come together, but the heels are open. You flex the feet. Breathe in as you breathe out. You're going to try and make footprints to the ceiling. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as you come back. So as you can tell here, there's a bit of height between my thighs and the mat. For some people that will be very minimal, right? And that is an indication that your glutes may be tight or that your hip flexors are very tight, or both. So you want to experiment. But if you get a glute engagement, then it's still worth doing, as long as it doesn't go into your lower back. If you feel this in your lower back, do the other variation that I just did on hands and knees, right? Now, if you find this too easy, good. Don't touch down between reps. Keep your knees off the floor at all times. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, last 2, last 1, and release. That's it. So definitely feel free to add that to your routine. It's very effective. And again, if you find it too easy, just by adding some ankle weights that kind of strap around your ankle, you will make this a lot more challenging. So you can always take it up, which is nice. Perfect. So there is one exercise I want to show you. I've been researching to see if I can find anybody sort of talking about this one, but it doesn't seem to be a popular one on the internet. So it's kind of going to be one that you may have to hear from me. So what I often do in my classes is actually I use all 3 glutes at once. So when I'm on my side, what I do is I take my toes down with my bottom leg, just to give myself an anchoring point, and I bring the top leg as far forward as I can. I'm now stretching my gluteus maximus. That's it. And now I'm going into my gluteus medius and minimus by going up. I call it painting the wall to the front, right? That is quite strong on your leg muscles. Breathe out to the top, breathe in. I'm not digging my waist into the floor either. So you're making sure that you keep yourself stable with your fingertips and with your toes of the supporting leg. That's it. If you find it easy, just take your legs more in line with your hips, and I promise you, you will feel the burn. That's it. Last 4. Last 3, last 2, last 1, and you can do the other side, no problem. And then from here you take your knee down, it releases the glutes. That's it. That's it. So with your glutes, your gluteus medius and minimus will be covered enough in the Pilates program. Your gluteus maximus is covered as well, but if you want to do more because there is a weakness, try and incorporate some of the exercises I've shown you today, and just do it, at the end of the session or before you start, or, put it on pause and just add your additional exercises to it, because this is your workout, right? Your body will have individual issues that other people won't have. So it's making sure that you understand what your body needs and give it what it's required. So, if you need additional glute strength, come and get it. So that's my sort of little my little sort of workout tips that I'm giving for your gluteus maximus in particular. Any questions? Of course, don't hesitate to get in touch, or if you want some variations, let me know. No problem at all. Hope to see you soon. Bye.